Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are digging into an issue that hits close to home for so many people: housing affordability. We're going to look at how one city, Austin, Texas, somehow managed to slash its rents while pretty much the rest of the country saw them go up, and what that might mean for places like Michigan. For so many of us, this question isn't just some abstract economic idea, it's a daily stress. And in states like Michigan, that housing crunch has become a really serious challenge, creating this huge gap between the homes that are available and the people who desperately need them. And this number, wow, it really puts the scale of the problem in perspective. According to the National Low-Income Housing Coalition, that is the estimated shortage of homes just for the extremely low-income households in Michigan. I mean, that is a staggering deficit that hits the most vulnerable people the hardest. Okay, so before we can even talk about solutions, we've got to understand the problem, right? What exactly is causing this housing squeeze in Michigan? Well, it's not just one thing. It's really a perfect storm of factors that have been building up for years. We've had years of underbuilding, not enough new homes. We've got restrictive local zoning laws that often make it flat out illegal to build anything other than a single-family house. Then you add in rising construction costs and wages that just haven't kept up. And, well, you get the crisis we're seeing today. So what if I told you one city found a way to buck this trend completely? Let's head down to Austin, Texas, because it's a really fascinating case study. Okay, now check this out, because this is where it gets really wild. While rents across the U.S. climbed about 10% after you adjust for inflation, in Austin, they plummeted by 19%. That just doesn't happen by accident. So the big question is, how on earth did they do it? So Austin's success wasn't some kind of miracle. It was the result of a multi-year effort to basically rewrite the rules. They built a whole new toolkit of reforms designed to do one main thing: build more homes and build them faster. And they didn't just try one little fix. No, they went all in. They tackled the problem from every single angle you could think of: changing zoning, encouraging smaller backyard units, getting rid of parking rules, and speeding up the whole permitting process. This comprehensive strategy was absolutely key. One of the biggest game changers was something called the Home Initiative. This was a policy package designed to gently increase density by allowing what experts call missing middle housing, so think things like duplexes and triplexes, to be built on lots that before were only allowed to have one single house. And this slide really shows you just how big a deal that was. By slashing the minimum lot size from over 5,700 square feet down to just 1,800, the city just blew the doors open for building smaller, more varied, and ultimately more affordable homes. But it wasn't just about what you could build, it was also about how fast you could build it. Austin got super aggressive about cutting through all that red tape. They created simplified review processes, fast tracks for certain projects, and they're even piloting an AI to pre-check applications to speed things up even more. Pretty cool. Here's another move that was huge. They eliminated minimum parking requirements. Forcing developers to build a bunch of parking spots adds a ton of cost and takes up valuable land that could be used for actual housing. By getting rid of that rule, Austin made it cheaper and easier to build. Okay, so that was all the stuff they changed. But did it actually work? Well, let's look at the data, because this is where the story gets really, really powerful. The results were just dramatic. Austin's housing stock grew by 30% in less than a decade. That's more than triple the national pace. In real numbers, that's about 120,000 new homes hitting the market. Just a massive surge in supply. And hey, it's economics 101, right? What happens when supply shoots up like that? Prices fall. The median rent in Austin dropped from over $1,500 a month to under $1,300. The city went from being 15% more expensive than the national median to about 4% less expensive. Just incredible. As one analyst put it so perfectly, the law of supply and demand never fails. Austin's experience is just this clear, real-world lesson. If you make it easier to build housing, more housing gets built, and prices become more manageable for everyone. Which, of course, brings us right back to where we started: Michigan. Advocates there are now looking at Austin's success and asking a pretty big question. Could this model be the blueprint we need? And the crucial thing to remember is that these aren't some secret Austin-only ideas. Housing advocates are arguing that these core principles, cutting red tape, encouraging different types of homes, and allowing for some gentle density, could absolutely be adapted to tackle Michigan's housing shortage head-on. And this isn't just some theoretical discussion either. This conversation is already happening at the state level in Michigan. Governor Whitmer's proposed housing agenda actually includes things aimed at cutting those permitting delays and other hurdles, which sound a lot like the reforms that worked so well in Austin. Ultimately, the Austin model really shows us that policy choices have real, tangible consequences. It proves that these chronic housing shortages aren't inevitable, and it leaves all of us with a critical question to think about. What specific changes could unlock more homes, not just in state capitals, but right in our own neighborhoods?